Hello and welcome to this session of the candidates night. And this is a time for candidates to express their opinions on why they're running and things that are happening in our town and how they would handle them. Our first candidate for the night will be Todd Melanson, and he is running for the Board of Water Commissioners. Todd, I'm going to ask you some questions. I'd like you to take a minute or 90 seconds or so for each question and give your opinion. This is not a debate session. It's just a time to hear your thoughts. So the first question is, please provide a summary of the following: your brief personal history, any relevant training educations that would help you with your position, any time that you've served on an elected municipal board, any appointed boards or commissions, or any volunteering that you do in the community. The floor is yours.
All right. My name's Todd Melanson. I am running for Board of Water Commissioners for the Townsend Water Department. I moved here, me and my wife moved here in 2000. We picked Townsend to live in and to raise our children. We raised 3 children all the way through North Middlesex. My background in water, 17 to 18 years as an analytical chemist and a microbiologist in water labs, and then the last 15 years in municipal water as the environmental compliance manager for the Chelmsford Water District. I am a member of the American Waterworks Association, the New England Waterworks Association, and Mass Waterworks Association. I am very involved. I'm on several committees in New England Waterworks and Mass Waterworks. I am also president of the Worcester Middlesex Water Association. I have a degree in biology and chemistry. I'm also a veteran of the United States Army and Mass National Guard. In town, I have been involved with the Master Plan Committee, and I was back in the day coach for soccer and hockey. Hockey, I was more than just kind of like a standing pylon. But that's basically my background.
Thank you, Todd. Can you tell the members of our community why you want to run for the Board of Water Commissioners?
Well, was the best way I could give back to the town. I come from wanting to serve, wanting to help, or be part of the community, give back to it. I really do want to give back to the place that was such a great place to raise our children. Best place to do it, and anyone knows about me, is I love to talk about water, and I do have a lot of expertise, and I would like to help guide the water department as the part of the team to its next phase.
Thank you. For the past few years during the term that you have served, what are some of the major issues that the water department and the water takers have faced?
Well, I would say one of the things I'm most proud about is being part of the team that has led the water department through, I would say, 3 unprecedented crises between the pandemic and everything that went along with it, PFAS, and a lot of the supply shortages that we've faced. The other part of it is the PFAS. We need to build a treatment plant. The latest results show that Harbor Trace is continuing to go up. It's not in the water. It hasn't been in the water, but we need the plant to meet the capacity needs and make the town and the water department resilient so we can do what we need to do. I really don't feel, I feel I'm one of the better people qualified to help us get the plant that we deserve. And that's kind of why I'm running.
Thank you. What are some of the major accomplishments that have happened with the water department and the Board of Water Commissioners?
I would say, one, getting it financially stable and sustainable. The other is a lot of what we've done in the last 3 years has been done in-house. We've gotten basically 2 wells online that were either needed to be replaced or needed to be brought back online. We have started the maintenance program. If anyone sees the Highland tank, the staff did that. You know, we had allocated a certain amount of money to do it, but to hire someone to do it, the staff did it. We've started modernizing a lot of the stuff that we need to do. And again, I'm really proud of being part of the team that's done that.
Thank you. How do you see the Board of Water Commissioners and the Water Department working with other boards and committees in the town?
Well, and I guess that'll be another point that I'm kind of proud on. We've improved the communication and the professional relationship between the boards. It's not always been easy when we don't always agree, but we are talking. And, you know, I think I got to commend the Board of Selectmen for having having active liaisons at the different departments. You know, I view it as a professional relationship where we are working towards the same goals. And I got to say that being listened to and appreciating the efforts we put into things that we present to the board has been very appreciated by the board.
Thank you. What are some of the ways that communication can be improved between the water department and the water takers when things are happening?
Well, we are trying to do that between the use of the website. We have control of our portion of it. I got to tell you, the operator's first thought when something goes sideways is to get it fixed as soon and as quickly as possible. You know, we have a smaller staff. You know, it's like any other small system, small to medium system. We have a smaller staff. So we've started to look at different standing operating procedures and different ways we can communicate without becoming a nuisance. I know everyone would love us to do the reverse 911, but you can almost become almost like a what do they call it? Sorry, but we just don't want to add to the influx of people's phones and stuff. So I think primarily we're going to try and use the website and maybe the Townsend Water Department Facebook profile. But I want everyone to know we are trying to be better about communicating.
Thank you. What does the future hold for the town of Townsend, the water department, and the water takers?
Well, we're at a crossroads, and I'd like to take this time to really ask for the town's support when we get to our annual town meeting. We face, like a lot of other communities in the state of Massachusetts, New England, and the nation. We have, through no fault of anyone's, a contamination issue with PFAS. We have, as a department, positioned itself to take advantage of what is called SRF, the State Revolving Fund, and it's specific to drinking water and PFAS. It is basically a 0% loan with principal forgiveness. Right now, the town is eligible for up to 13% principal forgiveness. When the infrastructure finance bill, that may and will go up, but I don't know the numbers yet. We have to pass the warrant for the treatment plant and the water budget. It is set up so that we can operate the plant and do everything else we need to. So we've tried to be as fiscally sound as we can be in setting up the town water department to be financially stable. But if we don't avail ourselves of this, it is very hard to go back to SRF a second time. So I would ask for people's support and understanding on the articles and the water budget. And I'd like to make a note too. The water budget is not your taxes. The water budget comes out of the Water Enterprise Fund, which is only funded by the water receipts that they take in from water usage and fees. And that's it. There is no taxes, town taxes associated with that. So I think that's our biggest challenge coming forward, getting the staff ready. We're in the stages of doing a pilot study and engineering design of the plant, all to be ready for this coming late summer, early fall, when we need to be able to to formally apply to the SRF.
Thank you. Do you have any closing comments? Anything that you forgot to say earlier, or something that we didn't ask tonight that you would like to share?
I'd like to thank the community. This past year and a half, hasn't been easy on anyone. I know that the system, the way it is running right now, is kind of pulling and pushing against each other. For the most part, everyone has been understanding, and we have tried to resolve the issues as they come about. And I would just ask for everyone's patience and support as we go forward. The staff has done an amazing job by doing a lot of the work in-house. And I just ask for people to support them. You don't have to support it like me, but the staff does a really good job and has done a really good job. And I'm proud to be part of that team and would like to continue. And I ask for your vote.
Thank you so much, Todd. Thank you for your service to date. Best of luck with your campaign and the election coming up in our town. Thanks for your service. We're going to switch now to the Board of Selectmen candidates. We have 2 candidates this year. And just to remind everyone again that this is an information night and not a debate. So I'll only be asking questions. I won't be asking follow-up. And the candidates are just to answer the questions and not to create rebuttal situations from one question to the other. So we're going to start with each candidate. We're going to ask them each to provide a summary personally of themselves, any relevant training and education related to the position that they're seeking, any time that they've served on a municipal board, appointed boards or commission, or any volunteering in the community. And we will just start the night with Teresa Morse. And if each candidate could try to keep to about 1.5 minutes so that we could get opportunity for everyone to answer each question. So Terry, you have the floor.
Hey, thank you. I want to thank you, first of all, Kim, for taking time from your schedule, and the entire TBA for hosting this event. I know a lot of people in the town are excited that it happened. As you said, it takes, even just for a candidate night, I know it takes a lot of work. You started over a week ago communicating with us, and it's greatly appreciated. Lisa, I also want to thank you for showing up and attending this event. I know you came directly from work, so that's never easy. So I'm very glad that we were able to get this to happen. For those who don't know me, my name's Teresa Morse, and as Kim said, I'm a candidate for Board of Selectmen. I am an Army veteran and a Navy. I started 8 years in the Army at Fort Devens. When I was stationed at Fort Devens 40 years ago, I purchased my house from Laura, who's still a realtor here. It was my first house I purchased and have been in it ever since with my husband of 40 years. Matter of fact, February 14th, Valentine's Day, we celebrated our 40th anniversary. I have 3 children that have been through the schools, North Middlesex School District. I served on the Energy Commission, the Recreation Commission, and for 9 years on the school committee. I do a lot of volunteer work in the town. I taught exercise classes at the senior center. I work on mentoring female veterans. I'm also a DCF, emergency foster care parent. My background, I have education background. I have a PhD in healthcare management, and I have an MBA, straight business administration. Have managed and multi-million-dollar projects. Last project I was on, my portion of the budget, it was over a $23 million project, but my portion of the budget that I was personally responsible to manage was over $2 million. I'm used to looking at big budgets and finding even small dollars that add up to help help with savings. And I think that skill set is something we need here in town. As I said, I am a veteran. I belong to a few veterans organizations. I am a supporting member of the Disabled American Veterans, and just recently became a member of the Townsend DAV, a charter member, which means when it was the first initiated of the Women in Military Service for America. And I'm also a member of the Retired Naval Officers Association. Serving my town, my country is important to me, and I hope you give me an opportunity to continue to do so.
Thank you. Our next candidate that will be speaking tonight with the personal summary training, any time that they're served on a municipal board, appointed board, commission, or volunteering in the community is Lisa Lewand. Lisa, you have the floor.
Hi, thank you. And thank you, Kim and the TBA for hosting this tonight. Also, Teresa, I would like to wish you well in your campaign. I'm originally from Maryland. I grew up just outside of DC. I am married with 3 grown sons. We moved to Massachusetts in 1992 and to Townsend in 2005. Townsend is our home. We love this town. And I'm employed at a local veterinarian's office here in town. Over the past 6 years, I have been very active in the town politics, government, and such. I have been to just about every meeting, either virtually as of late or in person. And I feel that I'm very prepared as to what has happened in the past, what is going to happen in the future, hopefully. Aside from town politics, I've been involved in the community since moving here. I served on the Townsend Meeting Hall Gallery Committee. I am currently on the board of directors for TCAM, the Townsend Community Access Media. And I volunteered in different capacities, including Friends of the Library, Townsend Recreation. I was also one of the volunteers during the apartment fire at St. John's Church, and it was very rewarding to help these people get even just the basics after losing everything. And Kim, I thank you for starting that initiative. If elected, I hope that you will find me approachable, and I really do want to hear your concerns. I feel like it's time to turn things to a more positive and possibly recognize people in the community, volunteers, and such. So that's about all I have.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to now turn the floor back over to Terry. I'm going to ask her the first question. She'll answer that one first, but Lisa, the next question you will answer first, so that we go back and forth. So Terry, if you could please just share with our citizens of Townsend what you believe the main responsibilities is of being a member of the Board of Selectmen.
So the responsibilities of the Board of Selectmen are actually detailed by a publication, Mass Municipal Association, called the Handbook for Mass Selectmen. And it clearly defines what those are. And Townsend is no different than any other board. We are bound to this handbook for Massachusetts Selectmen. And those include financial management, addressing financial issues, appointing people where appropriate, providing leadership where appropriate, working in conjunction with the Finance Committee, assume an active role in any issues that come about, help with broad policy implementation, etc. But there's additional on top of what they don't have in the handbook that I think that we have as a member of the Board of Selectmen, is to always remember that we don't work for us. We don't work for the board. We work for the town. So you have to be in the town. You have to be willing to listen to the town. You have to be willing to listen to opposing opinions. And I think that's a big responsibility, to make yourself available, to have office hours, to have, use technology where possible, to have places where people can reach out to you. Other than the duties and responsibilities that are outlined in the handbook for Massachusetts selectmen, I think we have a big responsibility to move the town forward, listen to the community, and be approachable.
Thank you. Lisa, I'm going to ask you the same question. What do you see as the main responsibilities of a member of the Board of Selectmen?
I see the main responsibility is making sure the town is financially secure, that we are not making frivolous decisions with taxpayer funds. I think it's a responsibility to, if we don't have, say, a grant writer, to research and find grants that we could bring the money into the town to complete projects or for various things. I also think it's important to make sure that the employees and residents, that we're doing all we can to support them.
Okay. Thank you. So now you're in the hot seat again, because we're going to switch back and forth. Your turn now is, what have you done to prepare yourself for the position on the Board of Selectmen?
Well, as I said previously, I have attended virtually every meeting, been present for the past 5 to 6 years. And I've spoken with selectmen from the past, present, to find out what the major issues are, as well as what I can expect if I were to win.
Thank you. Terry, what have you done to prepare yourself for the position on the Board of Selectmen?
So the first thing I did is really speak to several community members. I spoke with members of the planning board, cemetery department, finance board, fire department. I went to the senior center, the extension at the senior center, and spoke to several seniors at there, listening to what their concerns are. I did go through again the archive meetings, went through several archive meetings over the last few years to see what was in the meetings that I might want to take note of. I spoke to three different selectmen. I spoke to former selectmen spouses about what they would hope for me to achieve. And one other thing that I did do, I created a web page in my copious spare time. I created a web page that I hope would give people the opportunity to know about me, but most of all, to have transparency. So if there were any questions, I have it set up so that there's chat hours every Monday. You can just write in. There's also, you can submit any type of question. So I just finished that, and it will be available tonight. I'll give more information later on that. So I spent a couple of weeks doing that.
Okay. Thank you. So the next question you'll start off with, why do you want to be a member of the Board of Selectmen?
It all goes back to, I guess I was born, the time with, John F. Kennedy, and I hate to say, but I'm old enough to remember the speech. So, ask not what can be done, what you can do, etc. I don't want to ruin the speech, but I always had that sense of duty. I think it's the same sense of duty that made me join the Army, the same sense of duty that made me run for a school committee when I had to run in 3 towns, which was very difficult to run from a single town when Pepperell I had to beat out somebody who was from Pepperell, and Pepperell had a much larger voting members. I want to see the town move in a positive direction. I really believe that I'm a candidate that can do that. I don't want to promote negativity. I want to keep us moving positive. I want to start that. But most of all, I believe that we have financial decisions that driving the town away from the financial conservatism that we kind of always had. And I think we're getting further and further away from that. And I like to try to move the town to be more fiscal conservative.
Thank you, Terry. So Lisa, now the floor is yours. Why do you want to be a member of the Board of Selectmen?
My main reason for running was over the past 2 years, there has been great strides made in the financial health of the town. There have been many grants that have been brought in. There's been more positive feeling in town hall. People are becoming more upbeat. And I think that's something that we absolutely need to keep going forward. We need to make sure that we are fiscally responsible. We need to make sure that we're not signing golden parachutes contracts. We need to make sure that the employees are happy first and foremost.
Okay. Thank you. So the next question, Terry, will be for you. What do you perceive as the 3 to 5 most pressing issues within the town, and how would you address those issues?
I do believe that there is a general belief that we're a divided town, that we're not driving towards a common goal. And that is a pressing issue. How I would work on that is just people know me, know I bring strong leadership combined with the highest professional standards. I always have and I always will. So I think that would be something very helpful with the town. Another issue would be the high electric cost. That's a little harder to have a solution for. I worked on the Energy Commission, and I certainly know it's always been a concern. Why is Unitel so much higher than Mass Electric? So but now since I've been on the Energy Commission, electric is now deregulated. So maybe there's some opportunities there. Maybe we can get some better understanding. Maybe we have much increased number of solar farms in the area. Is there opportunities there for the electric cost? And the last one I can think of, a pressing issue from most people that I talk to, it seems to be from many people, the number one issue is the conditions of the roads. Now I know there's a question on that further, so I won't take too much time on that. But there is a line item in our capital plan, and we have to say, if we have items in our capital plan, how are we getting those funded? What are we doing to make those funded, to get those funded? Now, the last time we looked at funding, this was an override, which again, an override is paying forever for something. And correctly, I believe that the override was not supported. And at that time, I believe it was that the Finance Committee did put it into the capital plan. So we have to look at ways to get that funded. I know that's a lot easier said than done, but that is something I want to see happen.
Thank you. Lisa, what do you perceive as the 3 to 5 most pressing issues within the town, and how would you address those?
Well, Terry stole my thunder. A lot of them.
Sorry.
We agree on a lot of those issues.
We do, and we both like bluebirds. So.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, I think definitely Unitil is an issue. It's people are being priced out of the community. They're selling because they can't afford the electric. And I think that's definitely something that I would be open to looking into and talking with people like in Groton. They have a municipal power and electric. I agree that the town is divided, and I think that's a shame. I think we need to become a community once again. I think budget, first and foremost, is always an important issue, a pressing issue. And I think that there definitely needs to be, I think this current board is transparent, and I think we need to continue with that. That's what I have.
Thanks. So you'll be first at this next question. While there were many challenges within the pandemic, what do you feel are the lessons learned that might impact our community in the future in either a positive or a negative manner from the pandemic?
Well, I will say that Zoom is a positive as we're on it now. I think that it will, while the law will state that we still need to, boards will need to meet in person, but I think it will make it more accessible to residents who can't always make it at 6 p.m., say to a selectmen's meeting, if they have children and whatnot, or the elderly in winter getting out. I think Zoom is a great way to try and keep everybody involved and to be able to participate, unlike watching it on TV. I also feel that the town is more prepared for something like this in the future, God forbid, because we have, with CARES Act money, there've been laptops purchased, so and people can be set up at home to work remotely. We have the rail trail and other outdoor spaces, and I think that I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, we're all, remote meetings work well, I believe.
Okay. Thank you. Terry, for you now, while there were many challenges with the pandemic, what do you feel are the lessons learned that might impact our community in the future, either in a positive or negative manner?
Yeah, this is globally, but I think it will affect our community as well as a global issue. I think one of the lessons learned, I don't think as a community, we anticipated people's reluctancy to vaccinate. And I think one of the challenges is that we still mandate vaccines in order to attend school, chickenpox, smallpox, the regular childhood vaccinations. I can't predict the future, but personally, I do feel there's a lot more challenge to that. I believe that it is going to be challenged, probably on a national level. And again, I can't predict the future, but that will, whatever the decision, it will have an impact for those who want to vaccinate and want to have their school children with other school children that are vaccinated. It will impact them and the other way around for people who do not want their children if they're vaccinated for one reason or another. It can have an impact no matter how it is decided.
Thank you. You'll start off with the next question, Terry.
Okay.
So as you both touched on, a few years ago, the pavement improvement override did not pass. How do you propose that our town fix the roads to ensure safe passage for our community members and business owners?
Well, first of all, I have to say, you got to give the highway department credit for doing what they have with as little as they have. I mean, I always see them trying to patch and trying to keep our community safe. So I do want to do a shout out to the highway department. But as I said, personally, I don't believe in using overrides for things that are part of capital improvement. Overrides in my belief it's for emergency only. So I always think of an override as like you wouldn't use take out a mortgage, a 50-year mortgage to buy a car. And that's what I think the town saw the overrides are, because the overrides forever. That said, it is in our capital plan. There is, I think, like $200,000, which is supposed to be put in there every, I don't know. I don't know the capital plan as well as I should yet, but I will learn it as soon as I am required to, and I'll be right on that. But the finance committee has put, the finance and the selectmen have approved it, and we just have to figure out ways to get it funded.
Thank you. Lisa, now to you. A few years ago, the pavement improvement override did not pass. How do you propose our town fix the roads to ensure safe passage for our community members and business owners?
Well, I know this is a very hot topic. I know that it has been since the pavement management plan failed. I do believe that we are doing the best we can right now, but I agree with Terry when we do need to fully fund the pavement management bylaw. I think that's something that we need to make a priority. I do know that Chapter 90 funds are in use now, and they're going to be paving several roads in Timberley Park. And I think we also need to look out and take advantage of any bipartisan infrastructure bills or grants that we can get to help improve the roads.
Thank you. I know you touched on this a little bit, but you're going to answer this one first as well. Do you think that the online and remote meetings should continue? Why or why not? And if you support this, what are you willing to do to make it happen?
Well, I don't think the meeting necessarily. I agree that they should be back in person, but I do think that access via Zoom should continue because I think more people are participating. I know many times you go into a selectmen's meeting and you can be the only one in there. Nobody's there. This way, at least people are participating. I also feel that I can help it. Being on the board of TCAM, we have brought in the OWL, which is allowing a broad view of the selectmen meeting. And so it's not as good as being there, but it's close. You can see the back and forth. And I think that's important. And I think that by building the studio that we're building right now at 222 Main Street, we are hoping for bigger and better things as far as broadcasting and Zoom meetings because we run these. So.
Thank you. Terry, now for you. Do you think that the online remote meetings should continue? Why or why not? And if you support this, what are you willing to do to make it happen?
Yeah, I agree that since the pandemic, many organizations have successfully transitioned to remote and hybrid meetings. I personally think that the selectmen should do their best to be in attendance, and depending on what the open meeting laws are, they may, it might get to a point where we are required to be in public at all meetings. But the fact that people can join remotely anytime you use technology to make improvements, improve people's lives, I think is a good thing.
Thank you. So you'll answer the next question first, Terry.
Okay.
There are very few people volunteering for open elected or appointed positions in the town. How do you think that can be changed?
I think both of us have kind of hit on this just a little bit. We both want to see the town heal. There's I think a lot of the reason people weren't volunteering is that there was this definite feeling of division in the town. You were either on one side or another. If you attended a meeting, if you ran for a particular position, you had to possibly take verbal attacks at meetings and stuff. It became real uncomfortable to want to serve the town. So I think once people see that you can serve without being adversarial, I think more people will be willing to serve.
Thank you. Lisa, now for you. There are very few people volunteering for open elected and appointed positions in town. How do you think that can be changed?
I think that, like Terry said, I think bringing some positivity back will certainly, I think in the past, it's been difficult because, because of the division, because of one against the other. I think maybe if there were, the public could see more positive things coming out, that they would be more encouraged to volunteer to help. I think there are a lot of people that do want to volunteer, but are a little bit hesitant, and hopefully that will change.
Thank you. We'll start with the next question. If you disagree with an idea or position from another board member, how would you work out those differences?
Well, I would hope as adults we could just talk about it, and if there is absolutely no way to agree, we would agree to disagree, and our vote would be what our vote is. I don't see getting into a screaming match with anyone. I think that we have to sit back and we have to listen to each other and go from there.
Thank you. Terry, now for you, the same question. If you disagree with an idea or position from another board member, how would you work out the differences?
Yeah, I guess for me is as I said earlier, I don't work for the selectmen and I don't work for the other members of the board. I work for the citizens of Townsend. So for me, if we're not in an agreement, my first thought is, are we clear on what the citizens want us to do? And if I find, because this happened to me on the school board, I was strong in my opinion on something, but the town was not. This was the changing to a March calendar. And I disagreed with the board members that, I had a lot of data that supported why changing to a March calendar made sense. But if I find out that citizens of the town oppose my opinion, then I would yield to the other members of the board. And I would hope it would work the other way as well.
Okay. Thank you. So you'll go first on this next question. Do you think there should be oversight by the Board of Selectmen on any other elected or appointed boards?
So I firmly believe that throughout the fiscal year, the selectmen really need to work in conjunction with the Finance Committee. They should monitor because we're ultimately responsible for the financial performance of the town. So in order to do that, we have to work with it. If that's what you mean by oversight, then yes. I also think, as I said earlier, for items such as road work, et cetera, it's very important to have a master plan, a mission and a master plan on that mission stated, which falls under the planning board. They have a master plan committee with that. So I would, throughout the year, monitor how that is coming along. But I'm not sure how, if that's considered oversight or monitoring, but I would definitely monitor the progress of items such as that.
Thank you. Lisa, now for you. Do you think there should be oversight by the Board of Selectmen to other elected or appointed boards?
I know that the charter determines what boards the BOS has oversight over. And I believe that we should follow the charter. That's plain and simple to me.
Okay, thank you. You're going to go first on this next question. How would you propose to make our community known for being business friendly?
Well, I think one of the first things I would do is to look at the bylaws and ensure that they serve the community that we are today and not 20 years ago. And one of those things coming up on the town meeting warrant is the dog grooming business. It was not allowed currently, and that does not make sense to me. That is chasing businesses out of town. So I was glad to see this happen. Not for the poor dog groomer, but so things could be changed. I think that we need to, I think it's a big project. I think we need to be a little more open and go over all of our existing bylaws to make sure that we are working within the confines of today and not the past.
Thank you. So Terry, you'll get that same question now. How do you propose to make our community known for being business friendly?
Yes. So again, this I'm going to go back to the Master Planning Committee. I really believe that that's one of the missions or responsibilities to come up with the master plan. They would be responsible looking at the bylaws, looking at the overall goal of the town and make them. And so I would work closely with them and support their ideas, as well as like Lisa mentioned, look at anything that we have that is counterintuitive to growth.
Okay, thank you. So you've both been wonderful with respecting the time limits, and we did start a little bit late because of the technical glitch, but I'm going to afford you both a little bit more latitude if you want to take an extra bit of time for your closing statement. Terry, you'll get to go first. Please provide a closing statement. It can be a review of any of the questions that we've asked, if there's something that you'd like to add, or if there's something that we didn't cover tonight that you think is important to share with the community. You have the floor.
Okay. I think, first of all, I'd like to go over once more my qualifications. As I've said before, with 9 years of working on the school committee, and that was a large school committee. I guess it's still a large school committee. So with 9 members of the school committee and significant budgets on the school committee, I'm very familiar on how to work with other members of a board to achieve what's available. Since then, I did get away from town politics for a while, which seems like I got away at a good time. Instead, I went out into the community and started working for Blue Cross Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I, as I said, used my doctorates. I do have a doctorate in healthcare administration, and as well as my master's in business, to work on very large budgets. So I believe that skill set will help the town of Townsend. And then finally, I said, as I said, people know me. People know that I'm not about an agenda. I'm about serving. I'm about duty. I'm about doing what is in the best interest of the town. And I just hope you give me the opportunity to do so. I do want to give you an opportunity. As Kim said, it takes a lot of work to do a debate. I know a lot of you wanted the opportunity to ask questions. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. As I said, the last couple of weeks, and it went live tonight, I did set up a webpage at www.teresamawselectman.com. There's a place to ask questions there. As well, every Monday from 11 to 12, it will have a chat, so you can ask questions live. I'll be on that chat. I'll be monitoring that chat, and I can answer any questions and concerns. I will not answer I'll post things on for transparency on Facebook, but I don't use answer questions on Facebook as Lisa, I'm sure, doesn't either. That's just common in politics. But I do hope you take advantage of my website, and I do hope I am going to be going around a lot more in the next couple of weeks, and I hope you feel free to approach me and ask me anything that I didn't address tonight.
Thank you, Terry.
And I do want to thank you again, Kim, and the TBA for allowing this to happen. And Lisa, I do have to say, I want to thank you for keeping this positive, and wish you the best on April 25th. Everybody get out and vote.
Thank you, Terry. So Lisa, you'll now have the floor as well to review any of your qualifications, reflect back on any of the questions, or add anything that we didn't go over tonight that you'd like to share with the community.
There is one thing that I neglected in my opening statement, and that is that I have also volunteered at TEO, helping deliver food, and during the beginning of the pandemic as well. But I'd like to say thank you to Kim and TBA again for hosting tonight's Candidates Night. Above all else, I love Townsend, and I hope I was able to convey to all the residents watching, if elected, I can't promise I will be perfect, and I can't promise that you will agree with every decision I make. But what I can promise is that I will be doing what I feel in my heart is best for Townsend, its residents, and its employees. I would also like to say good luck to Teresa. It was very nice seeing you and meeting you tonight. And regardless of the outcome of the election, I look forward to remaining an active volunteer and participant in town government. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. I want to thank both of the candidates tonight, Lisa Lewand and Terry Moore, for joining us. For Dave Funioli and TCAM for making time in a very, very busy town schedule right now. Trying to get space and airtime was very difficult. So we appreciate everyone working with us on that. While we know it's not the same as an in-person debate, we hope that tonight's opportunity to hear the candidates and listen to them gives you information for our upcoming election. And I can tell from both of the candidates tonight that they would offer each of you the opportunity to ask additional questions in the appropriate forum. So, whatever mechanism that is between now and the election, just a little bit more than a week away, there's still opportunity to get to know the candidates. And again, thank you to those that joined tonight. And I see many of the names that are active in our community. Hopefully, once the link is up, you can do your part by helping to share off a TCAM site and TBA site the link to the recording so that other community members can listen to this as well. And with that, Dave, I think we are all set, and appreciate your time again, and to both candidates that are here, and to Todd Melanson, the candidate for Water Commission. Really appreciate everyone taking the time to spend this with the TBA and TCAM to get this information to our community members. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.